Today, we're going to get into a really wild case. It's a story where a seemingly perfect alibi, one that was crafted with modern technology, actually becomes the perfect trap. It's a chilling reminder of how our digital footprints can echo our darkest secrets, whether we want them to or not.
And that really is the question, isn't it? How can a plan that's designed to be the ultimate deception become the very thing that exposes the truth? Well, let's break it down. All right, so our story kicks off on this quiet, almost unnaturally still night in a New York City apartment. Inside, police find a body, a smartphone, and a final phone call that's about to unravel everything. The time is 11:20 p.m. Police arrive, and you can just imagine the scene. Those red and blue lights washing over a room that feels less like a violent crime scene and more like a moment just frozen in time. The victim. Her name is Maya Johnson. There's a spilled coffee cup, a book on the floor, but the scene is just quiet. It offers almost no clues as to why her life was cut so tragically short.
And here's the thing that's just so unsettling. No signs of a struggle, no forced entry. I mean, the implication is chilling. Maya knew her killer. She must have willingly opened the door to them.
Lying right there next to her is the only witness, her smartphone. And inside its memory, in its call logs, it holds the key that is going to unlock this entire mystery.
So, who do the police talk to first? Well, naturally, it's the boyfriend, a guy named Ethan Gray. And he arrives with a story, an alibi that seems totally airtight, placing him miles away on the phone with Maya at the very moment she died. So here's the story Ethan tells them. The timeline is simple. He called her at 11:05 p.m., they had a normal 15-minute chat. Then, all of a sudden, the line just went dead. He says he tried calling back, totally frantic, but she never picked up. And honestly, it's a tragically plausible story. He delivers this line with what looks like genuine shock and grief. I mean, he's painting this picture of a loving boyfriend, the last person to ever speak with her, now just left heartbroken and completely bewildered. On the surface, it's the perfect alibi. But you know how it is. Something about Ethan's story just doesn't sit right with the lead investigator. It's a gut feeling, and it leads him to dig a little deeper into that final phone call, a standard procedure that is about to turn out to be anything but standard. And with that one simple command, the entire investigation pivots. The team plays the recording of that final call, and at first, it's exactly like Ethan described, a completely normal, everyday conversation. And then they hear it. The first crack in this perfect story. Right in the middle of this supposedly normal conversation, Maya's voice cuts in and she asks, "Who's there at this hour?" And she's not talking to Ethan on the phone. Someone is with her in the apartment. After her question, there are a few seconds of this heavy, tense silence on the recording. You can just feel the air in that room change. The normal phone call has just been violently interrupted. And then, this. A man's voice, really low and muffled, almost a whisper. It is definitely not Ethan's voice from the phone call. This is someone in the room with Maya.
So this is the question just hanging in the air in that interrogation room. Ethan swears he was on the phone, miles away. So if that's true, who was at Maya's door? When the police ask him, Ethan says he heard nothing.
Okay, so this is the turning point. Armed with this mystery voice from the recording, the police start to pull at the threads of Ethan's story, and his meticulous alibi begins to completely fall apart.
You can just imagine the detective in that moment. Something just clicks. He plays that low, muffled voice from the recording again. Then he listens to Ethan, speaking right there in front of him. Yeah, the voice is disguised, but the rhythm, the underlying tone, it's a perfect match.
And then, the forensic data comes back and delivers the final blows to his story. First, the call logs confirm the call did in fact come from Ethan's phone. But the bombshell? It's the location data. Cell tower pings and GPS show that at 11:05 p.m., Ethan's phone wasn't miles away. It was inside Maya's building, making the call from just a few feet away.
So the detective just lays it all out for him. Ethan was already in the apartment. He used his own phone to call hers, staging a conversation to create this perfect digital alibi. A recording that was supposed to prove he was somewhere else entirely. And this was the fatal flaw. In his arrogance, thinking he'd committed the perfect crime, he disguised his voice so well that when he heard the playback in the interrogation room, he didn't even recognize himself.
In the end, the very thing he created to set himself free, that recording, his own disguised voice, became the undeniable proof of his guilt. He trapped himself in his own echo.
It kind of makes you think, doesn't it? In this world of digital echoes, every call, every location ping, every single interaction creates a record. We try so hard to control the narrative, but in the end, what secrets are our own devices keeping for us and about us?